Hey guys, it's me, Rich. You were told that immigration enforcement suddenly became controversial, but that story is a lie. We have all been watching politicians rewrite history in real time, pretending Democrats never defended borders, never enforced the law, and never stood with federal agents. But what you're about to see is proof that the once president of the same party, now attacking ICE daily, once said the exact opposite right on the floor of Congress. This video walks you through how that transformation happened stage by stage, from Bill Clinton to Barack Obama to Joe Biden, and why federal agents are now being treated like enemies for doing their jobs under the Trump administration. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to RPW Media, where we are the antidote to the daily onslaught of radical woke Marxist propaganda. Now, there was a time when enforcing America's immigration laws was not controversial. It was expected. It was bipartisan. And it was openly defended by Democratic presidents on the floor of Congress. That fact alone completely destroys the modern narrative. And yet, almost no one in the media wants you to remember it. Because if you remember it, their entire story collapses. In 1995, during his State of the Union address, Bill Clinton spoke plainly about illegal immigration. He warned that uncontrolled borders harmed American workers, strained public services, and undermined our national sovereignty. He called for stronger enforcement and the removal of those in the country illegally. Give this a watch.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws.
Yes.
It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Now, at the time, Democrats understood something very basic. A nation that cannot enforce its borders cannot protect its citizens. Immigration laws were not optional. They were the law. But that understanding did not survive, and what replaced it was really dangerous. The shift accelerated under Barack Obama. Publicly, his administration claimed enforcement, but quietly, it redefined it. Deportation priorities were narrowed. Illegals caught at the border were turned away, but then counted as deportations to inflate the statistics. Executive actions replaced congressional authority. Under Obama, hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens were allowed to remain. Entire categories of enforcement were effectively suspended. Among those admitted were more than 60,000 Somali nationals, many placed into communities already struggling with crime and economic pressure. But then came 2012. Obama illegally created the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA. He did it as an executive order. Executive orders exist to execute law, not invent it. Neither the Constitution nor Congress authorized that program. And he wasn't done. Obama offered legal status to over 4 million illegal aliens already here. This was not border security. It was selective enforcement, and selective enforcement is how laws died. And then everything changed when Donald Trump was elected in 2016 and began enforcing existing immigration laws. Democrats did not argue policy. They attacked legitimacy. Deportations were framed as cruelty. ICE agents were painted as villains. Federal law became something to resist, not respect. Cities run by Democrats declared themselves as sanctuary cities. They refused to cooperate with federal authorities. They shielded illegal aliens from deportation and interfered with law enforcement. That is not compassion. It is defiance. Now, Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution gives the federal government exclusive authority over immigration through an uniform rule of naturalization. It's listed there, guys. It's known as the enumerated powers. States and cities do not get to override that power. That's the supremacy clause. It makes it very clear. Sanctuary policies are not lawful discretion. They are an open defiance to the constitutional order. And that defiance sent a message: obstruct enforcement and you will be celebrated. Now, contrary to popular belief, under Joe Biden, enforcement did not weaken. It totally collapsed. Between 6.5 and 14 million illegal aliens entered the country in 4 years. Interior enforcement was gutted. Border deterrence completely vanished. Deportations plummeted. The administration kept telling America that the border was secure during all of this. Watch.
The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border.
The border is, in fact, secure.
A record 221,000 migrants crossed into the U.S. last month.
Our border is secure. We believe certainly that the border is secure.
1,300 migrants a day.
We have taken unprecedented action over the past year and a half to secure our border and rebuild a safer and orderly process system.
This year is on pace to be the deadliest year for migrants crossing into this region of Texas in recent memory.
The border is secure.
The border is secure, and the border is not open.
Crossings are still at an all-time high, with Border Patrol reporting more than 1.8 million apprehensions from October 2021 through July.
The border remains closed. It is not open. We are turning away the majority of adults. But
The border is secure. The border is closed.
So we are offering solutions. That's what the Biden-Harris administration has been doing since day one.
This is worse now than it was before.
A record number of migrants this year, and the total could surpass 2 million by the end of September.
We're certainly doing a lot more to secure the border.
We have a secure border.
And we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border.
A record surge of migrants in New York City.
Over 2 million illegal immigrants crossing the southern border, an all-time record.
The border is secure.
We agree that the border is secure.
Guys, that was not incompetence. It was ideology. That was planned. It was part of their progressive ideology. And ideology always demands that enforcers be punished. Now, that brings us to now. ICE agents are harassed, filmed, doxxed, and followed to their homes. Their families are targeted. Their names are leaked. In response, agents wear masks to protect themselves and their identities and their loved ones. Democratic leaders call that suspicious. In Minneapolis, Los Angeles, and across the country, mayors and governors have fueled unrest with their rhetoric. It's reckless. Now, here's Karen Bass. She calls ICE operations the hunting of Latinos on TV. Watch.
Hunting of Latinos that has taken place and continues to take place in this city. What worries me now is that it's not so much attention happening, but the raids are still happening. The snatching of people off the street are still happening. And then what I was so proud about our city is that we stood united. We didn't divide over that. One side of the city wasn't saying this is a good idea, get rid of.
She's saying they didn't divide over that. Yeah, you did. There is the law and order side, and there's the protecting the criminal side. You guys divided.
Those people, everybody was appalled.
Now, here is Karen Bass openly telling Americans that her city does not distinguish between U.S. citizens and illegal aliens. Watch this.
We know that this has impacted undocumented immigrants who in Los Angeles are Angelenos because we don't make the distinction. They are neighbors and workers contributing to our city, and they continue to be swept up in these actions, denied their rights, and subjected to fear.
They don't have rights. They have all received final notice of deportation letters. They all know that they are being tracked. They know that the day is coming when they're going to be deported. The Democrats just don't want to admit that. Now, here's a video of Gavin Newsom spreading lies about ICE in California with Eric Holder.
You have now the largest domestic police force in the world, arguably, that increasingly appear to have taken an oath of office to Donald Trump and not the Constitution in terms of how they are conducting many of their activities. And that, to me, would be Exhibit A, and the conduct that was deeply unbecoming of the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol.
Yeah, and I think this is the kind of thing that you'd expect to see in a third world country. You'd expect
third world country. This is the guy who, as Attorney General for Barack Obama, was held in contempt for not turning over subpoenaed documents for Fast and Furious, which was a program that they ran that got over 400 Mexicans killed and a Border Patrol agent killed. This is the guy who claimed as Attorney General he was Barack Obama's wingman.
to see in Russia, so-called banana republics. I mean, ICE is going to be substantially larger than the FBI.
Yeah, and so that's supposed to mean something? Do you hear this? They're comparing ICE performing lawful, legal operations in California to Russians, to like the Soviet Union. These guys are out of their minds. Here is Newsom giving another speech where he's about to sign a law that says that in California, ICE agents must unmask themselves. He has no authority to do that. So what he's doing is he's grandstanding because he wants to run for president. Give this a watch.
Unmarked cars, people en masse, people quite literally disappearing, no due process, no rights in a democracy where we have rights.
All of these illegals, there are warrants for their arrest, and they have also received final notice of deportation. So their rights, their due process is over. Personally, I don't think you have any rights in the United States. I mean, you have the right to not be murdered and things like that, but that's for anybody that even visits our country. But if you come here illegally, you try to live here illegally, you don't have the same rights as citizens. But the way Gavin here is talking is that they do.
Immigrants have rights.
Yes, but illegal immigrants do not. See, the Democrats always conflate the two. One group of immigrants we love, come in, open arms. But illegal immigrants that don't come through a legal port of entry and start the process, we don't want them here.
And we have the right to stand up and...
You do not, because Article 1, Section 8 says the federal government controls immigration policy.
Push back. And that's what we're doing here.
Did you hear what he's saying? They're all saying this. They're saying we're going to push back against federal agents doing their job, protecting their communities by getting rid of illegals. I'm telling you, these people have lost their minds. They're on the 20% of the 80-20. Now, here's Jacob Frey. He is the mayor of Minneapolis. And believe it or not, he's going to speak English instead of Somali in this. It's a rare case of where he doesn't speak Somali to the people in the audience. So here he's going to talk about the aftermath of the shooting of Renee Good. But where do you hear the things that he says?
Around right now, and we collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice.
So he said, we're going to get to the bottom of this, which means, right, that, okay, well, we're going to actually do a fair and balanced investigation. Then he says, to get justice. And in his words, with the way he said it, justice means that we're going to absolutely prove that the ICE agent murdered that girl. Because he already said it in another video. He said the ICE agent murdered her. I'm sorry, but the video evidence shows otherwise.
And to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead.
Yes, because she tried to run over an ICE agent after she was breaking federal law by obstructing ICE agents from performing their duty.
And that she was shot by ICE.
Yes, for trying to kill her.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense.
It was. The video says so.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull.
Yeah, see, now these wimpy soy boy type politicians, they think that they're acting like a real badass when they use curses.
There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better. But I do have a message for our community.
He has a message.
For our city. And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Oh, wow. He threw an F-bomb. What a tough guy. All right, so here's Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who accused the federal government of bias while demanding that the state be involved in the federal investigation. And he already prejudged it himself. He trashes the investigators of the federal investigation while insisting he wants to participate in it. Give this a watch.
We have learned that the Trump administration has now denied the state that ability to participate in the
They don't have to let a state into a federal investigation. You have your own investigation with the state. The federal government can share with you information from their investigation. They can even tell you how they're going to do their investigation, but they don't have to bring you in. And why would they bring you in, Tim? You're a freaking liar. I have a video I'm going to play next that shows how biased this guy is against ICE long before this incident ever happened.
Investigation. And I just want to make this as clear as possible to everyone. Minnesota must be part of this investigation. It feels very, very difficult that we will get a fair outcome.
Look who's talking, the guys that rig everything.
And I say that only because people in positions of power have already passed judgment.
Yeah, like you and your mayor, Jacob Frey, you guys have already passed judgment. On ICE, you've already passed judgment on this situation, on the shooting incident.
From the president to the vice president to Kristi Noem have stood and told you things that are verifiably false.
That is verifiably false, what he just said. They told you that the ICE agent was hit by her car. He's saying that's verifiably false. Well, I don't know about you, but my eyes actually saw the video that they're talking about. So who's the one lying here?
Verifiably inaccurate.
No, it's
not. They
not.
have determined the character of a 37-year-old mom that they didn't even don't know. They've determined that the actions are done.
And you've determined that an ICE agent murdered her when you haven't even seen things all the way through. This guy is trying to get ahead of some audits that are coming for the fraud, the massive amounts of fraud that apparently he knew about, because there was a woman that's running for governor, a Republican, who said that she gave him reports 4 months ago about all the fraud, and he did absolutely nothing because he didn't want to offend the voting base of the Somali community.
I don't know. I've not used inflammatory terms of what happened.
The hell you didn't.
Asked us to find the answers. The only way we find the answers is a thorough investigation.
Okay, and finally, here's where Tim Walz gets nailed in Congress for his behavior and his filthy rhetoric about ICE agents. Give this a watch.
Well, that's what you tweeted, by the way, sir. And on May 23rd, 2018, you tweeted, quote,
2018.
I support policies that keep law enforcement from enforcing federal laws, close quote. On May 17th, just this spring, at the University of Minnesota Law School's commencement ceremony, you said, quote, Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. When you said the words modern-day Gestapo, you were referring to ICE agents. Gestapo, by the way, sir, was the official secret police of Hitler's Nazi Germany. Yeah. So you're calling ICE agents modern-day Nazis.
Now, how could that ever cause Walz's constituents to get uppity? I don't understand it.
Given the attacks on ICE agents that took place in Los Angeles over the weekend, don't you regard your dangerous inflammatory rhetoric as a problem?
What do you hear his answer?
The questions do you want me to answer first?
So, sir, it saddens me that you refuse to express regret from comparing ICE to Nazis. ICE agents are brave Americans who get up every morning, leave their families, and put their lives in harm's way to protect.
Guys, all this, what he's saying right now about ICE agents, that's like common knowledge. Who would argue with that?
Protect our country, sir. You, at the very least, owe an apology to these dedicated public servants. I will say, sir, inflammatory rhetoric such as yours and the other governors on this panel is responsible for putting a target on the back of every ICE agent who is risking their life to protect our communities.
Yes. So guys, only in a progressive fantasy does enforcing federal law equal violence. All of their claims are false. ICE agents are performing lawful arrests under federal authority. When politicians tell people that law enforcement is criminal, some will act out on it. We've seen it. Protests become interference, and interference becomes violence. Under Bill Clinton, enforcement was a duty. Today, that same party fights the agents tasked with enforcing the law. This is how a political party radicalizes itself into hostility toward the rule of law, and they want you to put them back in charge. This is no longer about immigration, guys. It is about whether laws still matter. But the upside is this: the truth is on all of the videos. The law is clear, and Americans are waking up. When reality reasserts itself, order always follows. And we have a live stream tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern. Check it out. You'll have a good time. Tell me what you think about this video in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.